They put on their dancing shoes for 12 consecutive hours and raised thousands of dollars. How OttoTHON became the largest student fundraiser of this year.
A celebrity drag queen comes to Cuse to host the annual drag show. We'll tell you which act stole the hearts of screaming fans.
And a new university initiative is handing out prizes for students to go green. How can you win $50 is coming up next. Citrus TV News starts right now. Hello and welcome to Citrus TV News. I'm Rachel Wolsky.
And I'm Alex Resnick. Students packed the Women's Building Saturday night for the first ever OttoTHON. That's our top story tonight.
The event is part of a growing nationwide movement to help children's hospitals.
Citrus TV reporter Nick Papantonis has the story.
It started with a small celebration.
Happy birthday, dear Scotty.
The lights went down, and the first ever SU OttoTHON began.
Lots of dancing, lots of hype, all for the kids, so it's all worth it.
OttoTHON is the newest event in a national dance marathon program benefiting children's hospitals across the country. The all-night dance lasted 12 hours, had 1,000 registered dancers, and was organized by the Residence Hall Association, who also served as lead dancers.
Oh my God, it's been crazy. I mean, it's hard to start something from scratch, but in the last 2 weeks, I've never seen so many people work together. We've gotten all the food donated. We've been staying up hours on day, and this shows our commitment.
Kids, Otto, and even some of the Citrus TV producers stayed on their feet all night to help raise $84,000. The money raised will go to benefit Upstate Golisano Children's Hospital and be used to fund the hospital's school, birthday parties for the kids, as well as other events. For Citrus TV News, I'm Nick Papantonis.
Organizers of the event say that it was a very successful first year, and they are already looking forward to 2016.
And now for some of our campus news. Pin a white ribbon on before heading out the door for tonight's basketball game. The Orange is teaming up with Vera House to pre-launch the White Ribbon campaign. Wearing white is a promise you will never support, commit, or remain silent about sexual abuse. Student volunteers will be distributing white wristbands and collect donations at the Dome. The campaign officially takes off the week of March 20th. Vera House aims to raise more than $125,000 this year. And the School of Architecture give thanks after receiving a large donation. The $750,000 endowment will set up a fellowship program for faculty members to spend a year doing design research. This is the largest donation the school has ever received by a living donor. Class of 1964 alumna Paul der Bogosian made the donation in honor of her brother who graduated in 1954.
The university is giving out a $50 MasterCard for going green. The Campus Commuter Challenge urges students, faculty, and staff to share rides, use public transportation. Commuters earn points on a Zimride account by logging their trips by carpool, bus, or bike. The challenge will run until March 6th. And Greek life got their hands dirty with the annual Just Bring Your Hands event. It happened in Goldstein Auditorium. Students worked together to crank out thousands of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. They raced against the clock to beat last year's record, 2,000 sandwiches in 20 minutes.
I just like being together with the Greek community, making the sandwiches and being something bigger than just our chapter's house.
All sandwiches were made within 20 minutes. The sandwiches will be donated to the Samaritan Center to serve those less fortunate.
And it's the largest student-run drag show in the country, and the money goes to charity. And reporter Sarah Valenzuela says the 13th annual Totally Fabulous Drag Show did not disappoint.
A night of makeup, dancing, and lip syncing can always make for a good time. But this is drag, and only one person can win. Friends, family, and other students came in support of the contestants. One member of the audience, Chip Weber, says that this is the second time that he's at the drag show.
I love this. I'm living. It's great.
The audience was treated to an opening performance by host Shangela Laquifa, who was also a contestant of RuPaul's Drag Race. After Shangela, contestants AJ and Poppy Suave did a special rendition of the song Earned It for one audience member, and Lavon Top channeled her inner Kesha with a lip-syncing choreo to Your Love Is My Drug. But it was Daniela Dupree that stole the show with her performance to Beyonce's 7-Eleven. The Secretary of Pride Union, Ian Schick, says this is the first drag show he's helped organize.
That's the best part of the drag show. You just come in, it's a great show, it's funny, it's great entertainment. These students are putting themselves out there and just having a blast.
But at the end, Daniela Dupree came out on top. Sarah Valenzuela, Citrus TV.
Haven't had the chance to fine dine on a budget yet? You still have a chance. Several restaurants are extending their downtown dining week special for another 7 days. Ask for the special menu at participating restaurants and eat a 3-course meal for $25 or less. Small Plates, Bamboo House, and Prime Steakhouse are just some of the restaurants keeping the deal to round up the customers. And Shoppingtown Mall in DeWitt may undergo dramatic changes. The mall's owner plans to tear down a part of the building and replace it with a strip mall. The remodeling would take place between Dick's Sporting Goods and Sears. The owners are considering apartment, office, and restaurant buildings as part of the remodeled strip. And Syracuse police are being asked to set up a substation at Destiny USA. According to the Syracuse.com records, nearly 600 crimes were reported last year at the mall. Now the county district attorney is calling for action. The DA says there hasn't been enough discussion between his office and the police department to deal with the surge in crime. He's asking Mayor Minor to add a substation in the mall.
As you head outside of the Syracuse University Orange men's basketball team last home game of the season, be careful of those winds. They're anywhere from 20 to 25 miles an hour. Now for my full weather forecast for what to expect throughout the rest of the week, stay tuned for Citrus TV News live at 6.
And when we come back, Israel's Prime Minister lands in D.C. We'll tell you what he plans to discuss when he visits Congress tomorrow.
Days after his identity was released, details of Jihadi John's personal life have come to light.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
You know what, guys? There's a lot of tree branches and dry brush over here. We should probably move the bonfire over there.
I'm guessing Smokey liked that idea.
What do you think it would be like to teach? Chances are, you have no idea. Teachers today are breaking down obstacles, finding innovative ways to instill old lessons, proving that greatness can be found in everyday places, and that you don't need to be famous to be unforgettable. That's what it's like to teach.
I grew up in the housing projects of Cleveland. I didn't even know that life could be any better than it was. Education for me has been a way to get away from the agony of what was normal life. I want to be able to impact the community, not just look back on where I came from, but to reach back to where I came from and pull some people up with me. My name is David, and I am your dividend.
Welcome back to Citrus TV live at 6. Here are some stories behind Central New York. Massachusetts teen is being charged with manslaughter after text messages reveal she is responsible for her friend's suicide. 18-year-old Michelle Carter encouraged her friend to go through with suicide after he showed signs of hesitation. Detectives say Carter had first-hand knowledge of 18-year-old Conrad Roy's suicidal thoughts and never encouraged him to get help. Roy died from carbon monoxide poisoning after parking his car in a Kmart parking lot. Carter has been released on $2,500 bail. She will return to court in April. And a man was shot and killed by LAPD after a struggle, and it was all caught on video. This video taken by a witness shows the victim being told to drop the gun, followed by 5 gunshots that can be heard. Barry said the suspect did not follow instructions, so police used a stun gun and removed him from the tent. The victim was declared dead on the scene. And Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is visiting the United States. He will be speaking to Congress tomorrow, and the United States and Israel have shown signs of diffusing tensions. However, Israel still fears that President Obama's Iran diplomacy will allow the Department of Atomic Weapons. Netanyahu will expand on his issues with Iran in his address to Congress. Several Democrats in Congress, as well as the Vice President Joe Biden, do not plan on attending Netanyahu's speech tomorrow.
And now for some of your international news. Tens of thousands of people marched through the streets of Moscow in honor of Boris Nemtsov. The Russian opposition leader was shot and killed on Friday. Portraits of Nemtsov were held by many marches and banners read, "I am not afraid." Nemtsov was supposed to lead an opposition march on Sunday. His death turned the event into a mourning rally. Russian President Vladimir Putin condemned the murder as being vile, and he has promised to try and find the killers. And more details are released about the masked ISIS fighter, most commonly known as Jihadi John. His real name is Mohammed Emwazi. He is said to be responsible for the deaths of James Foley, 2 other Americans, and other hostages from Japan. Emwazi was born in Kuwait in 1988. He moved to the UK and grew up in northwest London. Friends and neighbors of Emwazi said he was not radical but always religious. They described him as being polite, quiet young man.
Well, we just escaped a record cold February. Hopefully spring is on its way this March.
Citrus TV's Caroline Strange is with us in studio for your full weather forecast. Caroline?
Well, Rachel and Alex, it looks like it's going to be almost spring temperatures already, although it doesn't quite feel that way. Although it says 23 degrees, it feels closer into the single digits at about 7. 25 miles an hour winds, though, are bringing that way down. We did have some peaks of sun that made it feel a little bit warmer. I know after being under those cloudy skies and snowy snowstorms, we didn't see a whole lot of it. Now, compared to some of the other times of the past, we are below our average again, and we've seen that a lot lately. 38 is typically where we're at, and not quite as high or as low as we've seen before either. Now, compared to some of the areas of the Northeast, Buffalo's a little bit warmer than we are, and that's because we'll be getting some lake effect snow showers and some of those winds that'll bring it down. Looking at our Doppler radar, not a whole lot going on overhead right now. We have seen some flurries stick around throughout the afternoon, and that'll change going into tomorrow. We are expecting 1 to 3 inches of snow to fall. Some areas are expecting 3 to 6 to the north and to the south, and of course around that lake we'll get a lot more of that. Now tonight, 8 is going to be our low, so it's going to be pretty chilly as you start leaving the dome tonight for that 7 o'clock game. Partly cloudy skies, and the winds will calm down a little bit, but not too much. Now as we look again into tomorrow, cloudy again, snow in the afternoon. It'll start developing after about 3 o'clock or so. High is going to be 29 degrees, and we do have a winter weather advisory in effect for tomorrow starting at 3 p.m. and into 7 a.m. on Wednesday. Some of the hazards are going to be freezing rain, sleet, and snow that are going to make traveling pretty difficult. Again, 2 to 4 inches, 1 to 3. Some of the areas will be getting a little bit more than others. Now we do have snow tomorrow, rain on Wednesday, and the temperature is going to pick up a little bit into the 30s. Hopefully those winds will calm down, so we will actually see some of that, and then we'll see sunny skies and up to 36 this weekend.
Wow, so no, these temperatures have warmed up so much in comparison to last week. Do you have any idea why they were so low last week and then they definitely warmed up today to above freezing?
Well, it's all those cold fronts. A lot of storms developed that kind of pushed throughout the Northeast and all across the nation, in fact, last week. So now we're getting back into where we normally are. Again, the high for today is usually about 38, so we're quite a bit lower than we are supposed to be.
But although the temperatures are getting higher this week, the winds are awful. What's allowing for such harsh winds?
Well, since we live so close to the lake, we do get quite a bit of winds as you go into the Carrier Dome. Again, right around that area gets pretty windy, so it'll feel a lot windier than if you were on the quad or somewhere around some of the other parts of campus.
And now, going back to these temperatures, do we think they're going to raise a little bit more to what they normally are a little bit after spring break, or do we think these really cold, frigid temperatures are going to continue?
Hopefully. Again, Saturday is going to be 36, so hopefully that'll stick out a little bit more throughout the rest of the week after we all come back. As long as we're getting used to those work temperatures, they stick around.
It's a sad day when 36 seems like a warm temperature, but thanks, Caroline.
Thank you.
And a new Samsung Galaxy phone will hit the shelves soon. We'll talk about the S6 model and its new features.
And an SNL sketch earns more cringes than laughs. Find out how the parody hit a sore spot.
Thank you. You got a king?
Go fish. In your face, in your face.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
I've got a job to do today.
I've got a job to do today.
Have a good first day at work, Mom.
Your donations to Goodwill fund job training programs right in your community.
Feels good to start fresh, right?
Sure does. And like that, you're a job creator.
Welcome back to Citrus TV News is live at 6. Here's a look at the major health stories going on today. Research shows the HPV vaccine is highly recommended for college students. The vaccine prevents cervical cancer. Experts from the University of Manchester say the vaccine can help young girls have a safer sex life. And federal advisors say the new Gardasil 9 vaccine prevents even more strains of HPV. The Advisory Committee of Immunization Practices says all boys and girls between the ages of 11 and 12 should get the vaccine. And Ebola survivor Nina Pham is taking a stand for nurses. Pham's lawyer says Pham is suing the Dallas hospital she worked at last year. Pham was on duty when she contracted the Ebola disease. Pham's lawyer says Pham was not properly trained on how to treat Ebola, nor was she given the proper protective gear. Pham says she is taking action to make sure other nurses and healthcare providers receive the training and supplies they need to do their jobs safely.
This weekend, as graduation rounds the corner, seniors will be happy. Seniors will be happy to hear the economy is improving steadily. The NASDAQ closes at 5,008 today, and this is the third time in history the NASDAQ has finished above 5,000 points. The last time it broke 5,000 was 15 years ago, and the Dow also went up today. It rose 155 points. And Apple better watch out because Samsung is stepping up its game with the Galaxy S6. The S6 and S6 Edge will have a new Gorilla Glass shell replacing the old plastic frame. The new models are no longer waterproof, and the speakers have been moved to the bottom edge of the phone to improve sound. And you can even assign different colors to contacts for your phone to flash when they call you. The tech company announced its latest product yesterday at the Mobile World Conference in Barcelona. And do you like donuts, Captain Crunch, or milk? Well, Taco Bell has added a new item to their breakfast menu that will let you eat them all in one bite. Captain Crunch Delights are being tested in Taco Bell locations in Bakersfield, California. These colorful donut holes are sprinkled with bits of cereal with a creamy milk filling. We'll see how that new breakfast treat fares in the fast food chain.
And now some headlines making entertainment news. An SNL spoof featuring 50 Shades of Grey star Dakota Johnson is receiving a lot of attention. The skit is a play on the recent Toyota commercial that features a dad dropping off his daughter at the airport. Johnson played the daughter in the SNL skit and was departing to join ISIS, telling her dad not to worry. In the wake of many young women running away to join the Islamic State, the sketch is causing more cringes than laughs. And the sketch may have gotten lots of attention, but Johnson is falling behind at the box office. 50 Shades of Grey landed in 4th this week, while Smith's new movie Focus snagged the #1 spot, bringing in just over $19 million. Though it's at the top, critics say the movie fell short. Focus was expected to bring in much more money during its opening weekend than it did. Kingsman: The Secret Service took 2nd place, and 3rd went to the newest SpongeBob movie.
And coming up, there's a new #1 team in college lacrosse, and SU basketball tries to pick up the pieces tonight against Virginia. All coming up next on Sports.
My daughter with her reading.
Searching for help with Dachshund reading.
No.
Let me try. Sarah's bright, but when she's reading, she has trouble sounding out words.
Playing world music.
What?
I give up.
Wait, I was trying to show you how Sarah feels every day. Frustrating, isn't it? Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
So they say it's a man's world? I don't see anybody's name on it.
While they were doing their thing, we slowly changed ours.
Today, women can do anything men can do. And there's one thing we're even better at.
Thank you, dear. Well, you're very supple. Just like I was at your age. Back then, I was a sex expert. Used to call me the buttered biscuit. I know about birth control, too. So you can ask me anything, baby.
Bedsider.org has birth control information and a lot more. And it's...
Have you had sex in this car yet?
Well, there's a new top dog in college lacrosse. Syracuse moves from #3 to #1 today. This comes after #1 Denver had lost over the weekend to ACC team North Carolina. But it wasn't all just Denver losing. The top-ranked Orange did themselves a huge service this weekend with a convincing win against #5 Virginia. Let's head to the Carrier Dome to take a look at how well SU performed in its first ACC contest of the season. The Cuse last year against Virginia lost 17-12. A different story in the Carrier Dome this time around. Nicky Galasso, an absolute firecracker from his stick, puts the Cuse up 2-0. The Orange would actually get up to a 5-0 lead in the first quarter. It would extend all the way to 7-0 until Virginia finally gets on the board there. 8-1 at halftime, and then Kevin Rice picks up where the Orange left off in the third quarter. Rips upper left 90. Kevin Rice putting the OttoTHON on notice. That's the college lacrosse equivalent to the Heisman Trophy. Kevin Rice trying to make a name for himself. Virginia would not go away. Bobby Wardwell beat there, and Syracuse would go on to win 15-9. You see Nicky Galasso, his 4th goal of the game, showing why he was a former #1 recruit in the country. The Orange dominating and well-deserving of that #1 spot. And from Syracuse lacrosse's thrashing of Virginia to SU basketball getting pretty served down in Durham, a 19-point loss to Duke, an unfortunate loss for the Orange after they did so well to beat #9 Notre Dame earlier in the week. And the real problem for SU down in Duke was the 3-point shooting. Trevor Cooney and Michael Benege, not a great game for them. 3 of 17 from three-point land, and that was the downfall according to Coach Boeheim.
We had some opportunities. We had some good looks. We cannot compete with Duke if we shoot 29%, shoot 16% from the or 15% from the three-point line. We've got to shoot better.
And Coach Boeheim's bunch need to have short memories because it's a quick turnaround for the Orange. SU back at it tonight in the Carrier Dome. It's the last game of the season, and it comes against second-ranked Virginia, last game of the season at home. Big storyline heading into this evening's affair. Senior Rakeem Christmas says goodbye to the Orange faithful at home. The big fella has led the Cuse in scoring and rebounding by pretty hefty margins this season and has certainly made a case to be in the All-ACC team with 18 points and 9 rebounds a contest. And lastly, the Rangers making a big move at the NHL trade deadline, acquiring defender Keith Yandle from the Coyotes today. New York hopes that bringing in another reliable defender will bolster a Stanley Cup run for the Blue Shirts.
Now, do we think the Orange are going to come away with a victory tonight? I know as seniors, we just want to see a good last game.
I do not think so. This is a number 2 Virginia team. There's a reason they have that 2 next to them. They are very, very well structured defensively, and Syracuse just doesn't have the firepower, although maybe they do it for Rakeem Christmas.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, last game, I'm hoping for the best for the
Are
Orange.
you going?
Yeah,
I'm going.
To the game tonight.
Awesome. Well, you guys enjoyed it. It is senior night, and Rock should have a good game, and maybe they keep it close, but Virginia just too good. You'll see why they're one of the top teams in the country.
All right. Thanks so much, Jay.
Thank you.
And coming up, a night at this hotel in Taiwan includes being swept away to another place.
And these themed rooms leave tourists breathless, but one in particular has superhero fans in awe.
If I got to go to college, oh my goodness. I like discovering new things. You get to see what works for you and what doesn't. That helps you evolve as a person. You get to make like a supernova of skill or talent or whatever it is. I've always wanted to go to college. I just feel like that's my destiny. My name is Queen, and I am your dividend.
This new mom is struggling to get the skates just right. Now she's holding on for dear life.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of siblings in foster care will take you just as you are.
So Caroline, give us some good news. When will it finally start to feel like spring in Syracuse?
Well, it'll start in the early teens tomorrow morning, but it'll get up all the way to 25 degrees by noon. But unfortunately, that's when the snow's going to start a little bit after that. But it'll be nice for a little bit at least.
Well, that's good news.
That's
at least
enough.
A little bit. All right. Thanks, Caroline.
Thank you, Caroline.
And tourists can go sightseeing outdoors, but this hotel is making its rooms a sight to see. The Eden Hotel in Taiwan is decking out its suites with different themes.
And there's an Egyptian tomb, a jail cell, even an aquarium. But what has everyone's attention is the Batcave.
It's the perfect room for any Batman fan, just like me. Everything from bed frame to television. Even the mirrors have Batman symbol engraved on the glass.
And to stay in this suite, it'll cost you about $60 for just 3 hours. Hopefully the people who stay here find their visit to be worth it.
And that's all we have for Citrus TV tonight. My name's Rachel Wolsky.
And I'm Alex Resnick. Tune in tomorrow at 6 for SA Today. Good night.